Okay, with
Okay.
Ignatius Rake, Andy Keys Clark, she's so Spector-Esque is basically it's an animation tribute music video of 60s icon Ronnie Spector. And if anybody would make this film, it would be a guy named Ignatius Rake. I have a feeling that that's like the perfect unison that your name fits with this film. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
is that your Christian name, as they call it? Is that your real name, Ignatius Rake?
It's a name I use to make art and videos and
Your
things.
stage
And
name?
yeah, something like that. But nom de plume, nom d'art, nom de guerre, or something. So yeah. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. Been doing that for quite a while. I used to produce a website many years ago, and the name just sort of came to me. So I've been using it ever since.
And basically you're based in the United Kingdom, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yes. In
So tell me about this particular film. Was it AI animation? What was the
no, oh
original?
no. Um, uh, uh, AI. I've got. I'm not really quite sure what I think of AI, but
Okay.
I don't use it. Uh, Although, so basically, what I do is it's digital collage. I used
Yeah.
to be like an analog collage artist, and then when Photoshop came along, I switched to digital, and it's the same principles that I use, cutting, pasting, but obviously with digital, you can do a lot more because if, for example, if you cut someone's eyes out, this sounds a bit criminal, but
Yeah.
obviously not physically. But you cut a photo, the eyes out and a nose out and a mouth out, and you stick them on the face, you can see that they're different from different pictures. Whereas obviously with Photoshop and that, you can smooth it so it looks like it's actually sort of kind of natural. And so you get this weird sort of was it the cliff of
Yeah.
the it's a term I use all the time. I can't seem to think now. Is
So
it? But
it's a nice creative way to make an animation.
yeah, and so basically it's all collage art. And the there's like I was very pleased that people picked this up in the feedback video about like the different 60s imagery, because basically obviously it's a sort of tribute to Ronnie Spector,
Yeah.
and obviously very very famous 60s singer. And the imagery that I used there was all sort of like, it was public domain NASA images of I think it's I forgot the name of the astronaut now, but like certain different astronauts. Then it's a lot of clothing from, I think it's the Rhode Island School of Design have got like a load of public domain 60s clothing that you can
Yeah. That's
grab
where a
and
lot of famous animators have come from, the Rhode Island School of Design. Yeah.
right. So good tradition there. Yeah, they seem to be. I must say, from what I experienced of it,
Yeah.
from just getting these images, it seemed like a very good.
The most
Yeah.
famous, I guess, alumni is Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy. He
Oh,
graduated.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, not bad. Yeah. No, it seems like a very good. It looks, from what I could see online, it looked like a very good
Yeah.
website. It looks like it's a good institution. So thanks to them, and respect, and salutes and all that. Yeah.
So then you got also add some live actions like sequences and images and things like that. It's like pretty spectacular. So I'm assuming that you have the song down first and then you get to the video, then you get to like adding the images.
Yeah. Yeah. So the guy who wrote the song, Andy Keys Clark, I've done. I mean, I know him from, we're actually from the same town, and it's kind of weird because it's absolute back of beyond nowhere town that I live in, absolute, Sticksville kind of thing. And it turns out that a pretty good musician lives here as well. So I've been working with him. I've done a few different videos with him in the past, and he said he wanted a video for this, and I said, yeah, definitely do that. And so yeah, basically how I work is whatever it is, I put the music, I do the music first, and then sort of beat edit, try and build out whatever it is, whether it's an animation or an actual video. I try and build it around the actual song, sort of thing, which kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. So then Andy Keys Clark kind of like, when did you first hear the song, his song?
To be honest, that's a flipping heck. Probably not that long before I actually made the video. To be honest, I think it was fairly new to me when he played, because we were talking about because Ronnie Spector had died in, was it 2020, and I think it's 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
And we were sort of talking about this because like we were both sort of big fans, and he said, "Oh yeah, I wrote a song," and he actually he sent her the music, and apparently she really liked it. And in her autobiography, like there's an updated version, so not like the thing that came out in whenever it was 1980 or something, but
Yeah.
a recent update. She actually sort of name checks the song, and it says there's a list of like different things that are different tributes, and yeah, she pays salutes to Andy for saluting her.
So
So
you listen to the song, and then did you have like, because basically the plot of their song is that you have this love struck astronaut, 1960s. This is the birth
yeah,
of the of the quote unquote astronaut, the space race, and then he's like he's lovesick, I guess, right? Like it's a kind of a
yes,
love
yeah, yeah,
story.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a great plot because it's like you're in that 60s nostalgic, but then also you have an emotional context with the love story. So we're hooked as an audience. So tell me about like, when did you come up with that idea? Did you talk to Andy? Did Andy have a kind of a concept of what the song was about, or how did you come
Um,
up with the story for the song?
it's a good question. Basically, I just listened to the song and sort of images just formed in my head, and I wanted to do. It was like, yeah, okay. I mean, I'm a big fan of sort of 60s soul music and 60s R&B and sort of thing, and so I wanted to do something that was of that sort of aesthetic. Um, but the actual storyline just kind of like it just sort of evolved. I don't really know where it came from. I'll credit the universe on that. So yeah, yeah, it just sort of just happened really. Probably not the best answer you wanted there, but yeah.
So basically then you just kind of got into, did he have any collaboration, anything that he wanted to collaborate, like how to make
Uh,
it?
well, basically, no. He basically said, "Yeah, do your own thing." You know what I mean? When it was a bit shocked actually when I finished it, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'll send you a rough edit," and I explained that yeah, it involves uh 60s space race rocketry,
Yeah.
aliens, and some public domain footage from an Indonesian film. And he was like, "What?" So he didn't know quite what to expect. And then but yeah, he liked it. So so that was kind of good.
And then you're just
But
kind of
yeah,
like, he had no like suggestions, no edits. He just said,
no,
I like it.
no, just do your thing. Like I say, we've worked on a couple of things in the past. So
Gotcha.
he was kind of, like, oh yeah, well, you do what you want to do, sort of thing. Which is very good of him, very trusting of him, because yeah, he could have really not liked it, but no, yeah, it turned out all right. And generally, I mean, I obviously I think, well, it's always nice to have a bit of direction. If someone says, "I want this kind of thing," but I do enjoy having the freedom when it's like, yeah, just make your own stuff up. So yeah.
So it's fair to say when you go to your website, we'll have a link on the podcast. So it's
Oh, thank you.
ninjanarts.com, that
Yeah.
you're out for business, like meaning that like you want to basically make music videos for people, I guess.
Oh yeah, 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 definitely. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm up for it. All genres, all budgets. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just every, I've always loved music, and ever since I was a sort of kid, music and imagery. I'm very visual when it comes to music, and so I'm always seeing imagery when I'm listening to music, and I just really love blending the two. So it's a real passion. I mean, and so yeah, if anyone wants a music video, yeah, give us a shout, definitely.
Yeah, and so
Uh,
you're showing this is a great like template, your film, because your film has gone on to has had many screenings and has won many awards, correct?
yeah. It's proved pretty popular, which I'm very glad about, very happy about. Uh, yeah, I mean, because some of the stuff I do, I've got I've got a bit of a connection with Japan, and a lot of my stuff I do different animation. My animations are generally what the Japanese call kimo kawaii, which can be a little bit maybe not to everybody's taste. There's Japanese people seem to like it, but it's usually a bit, yeah. Not everybody, not most Western people don't seem to really get it. So the music videos are much more sort of bit more sort of straight down the line. So
Yeah.
yeah. So it's all tastes. I'll cater for all tastes.
Gotcha. So yeah, basically, like, how long would it take you to make? Because you said that you can make people's music videos, but how long did it take you to make this video? Like how like
Well,
what's
that video was about, I would say, 4 weeks.
yeah,
And that was pretty intense work. But I am I work pretty intensely anyway. I always have done, and I'm not really. Ever since I was a kid, I always had sort of like insomnia and stuff, so I don't really sleep that much, and, which might explain some things. But basically, I once I get fired up into a creative project, I just go totally into it without, and I don't sleep for days. I'm a bit of a loon like that. And so I worked on that video. It was just pretty intense for about 4 weeks, which some people, a lot of people don't sort of do that, but to me, it's just sort of a natural thing. And once you get inspiration, I find you can't really sort of it's not like you can switch off and on. Yeah, once the energy's there, you just sort of go with it, and
just go with it. Like so you just kind of like
yeah,
you kind of get wrapped up. You kind of get obsessed, I guess, with it, right?
yeah, yeah, basically, yeah,
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what so you're working on something right now?
At the moment, yes, I'm working on about to start work on another music video for Andy Keith Clark, and that's sort of more quite an upbeat sort of ska, because he does sort of he's mainly known for ska music, but he also does sort of retro 60s sort of stuff. And so that one's more of a ska tune, and about I guess I could give it a name. It's called Star Nation. It's about sort of space exploration, and it should be quite fun to make, I reckon. So
Yeah.
probably involve a few aliens. So that's always been one of my favorite tropes. So
Yeah, no, this is like I said, this film is doing like you won multiple awards. Like this film is like is there a plan on is it online right now for people to watch? Like what's the plan? You gonna like what's the plan of
oh
distribution?
yeah. Well, I mean, you can see it on Andy's YouTube channel. You can see it on my website.
Okay.
It's yeah. There's meant to be a screening of it in Japan in when's that going to be? Is it November, for the Japan Indie Film Festival. The Indies, sorry, Japan Indies Film Festival. There's a few different things. So there's some stuff coming up. It's a few different other festivals I think it's been entered into. So we'll see. And obviously next year at the Oscars, it's going to sweep the boards.
It's gonna sweep
Awesome.
the best. Well, it can go in two categories, right? It can go into
Yeah.
like short film, I guess it can go to animation, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
But it's all about the song. Is it fair to say that like it's the song has to be solid for the film to work?
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Really. I mean, it's good that it's a good tune. It's well written. Really good, nice sort of melodies and structure and everything. And so it would be a lot harder to produce a good music video to a song that sucked, basically. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
Because it's like when it's like when people say, "Oh, have you seen this film? It's got really good special effects," which basically means, yeah, there's no plot, no acting, nothing. You know what I mean? So it would be a bit like that. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, great special effects, but nothing,
But
nothing
that
else.
said, you told there's a beginning, middle, and end story here, right? Like, and
Yes.
it's
Oh,
like,
oh
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, again, it was fortunate with the song because the song itself tells a story, so it was quite easy to uh, translate that into sort of visual things because
yeah,
it's not abstract. It is basically talking about someone that he the singer meets and falls in love with. It's kind of a
yeah.
sort of a uh, 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 how do you say it? Not unrequited, but it's sort of like obviously the love affair was never fully resolved. It sounds like she had to go kind of thing. And obviously with an alien, that's pretty handy because they can go off to their home planet sort of thing. But yeah, so it was really, I mean the song itself was very conducive to making a good video, if you know what I mean. So I'm lucky there. So cheers, Andy.
Yeah. So before we leave you, I want to point. I was reading your blog interview, and you said that Repo Man is the movie you've seen the most times in your life. So people don't know
Yeah,
it's from the '80s. Emilio Estevez when he was a movie star. Yeah, that happened in
yeah,
1984. But this film, it's hard to find, but basically it got huge. I remember the reviews when they came out in the '80s. It's like it got great reviews, and it's basically it's like a dark science fiction comedy. It's funny. It's like a
yeah,
satire of
yeah,
it's a satire of Reagan's Americana in the 1980s, I guess, right? Like it's showing the
very much.
commercialism, the kind of the craziness that we
Yeah,
live in, the atomic bomb, right?
yeah, yes. And it's a absolute classic. I mean, like I say, it was at one point when I was younger, I could probably sort of quote the script pretty much verbatim. It's yeah, the idea of like four dead aliens in the back of a Chevy Malibu, and then just like it's basically repo men, punks, car thieves, all trying to get hold of this car because there's like a $20,000 reward for it.
Yeah,
Which and but the thing is, it's like you get this glimpse into this really surreal world of repo men, whereby obviously now I'm sure actual real repo men is probably nothing like this at all. But in terms of the film, it's like this sort of like this. It's like this other world where they've got their own language, they've got their own sort of like culture. They live by a code. I call it the repo code,
yeah. Like it's like
and
someone who repossessed people's possessions, right?
yeah, that's it. So basically, people that don't keep paying their when you it's a hire purchase kind of thing on a car,
Yeah,
and you fall behind on your payments. These these sort of strange bunch of punks get called out to repossess your car, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure the actual real life situation is nothing like it at all. But in terms of the film, like yeah, it's like this hidden world, this culture, and the best thing is there's two versions. You've got the actual film, cinema release, and then you've
yeah,
got the TV edit. And the TV edit, I can't believe I'm saying this because normally TV edits, you'd think, oh, that'd be really bad. But
yeah.
no, the TV edit is brilliant because what they did, they cut all the swearing out. And instead of like putting like beeps or bleeps or whatever on it, they actually just changed they overdubbed it with sort of nonsensical words. So it's like instead of it's flip you, melon farmer, as
Yeah,
opposed to yeah. And so as a result, you end up with this extra layer of surreal. Again, this sort of like this totally different world. So they not only have they got their own culture and their own way of doing things, they've got
yeah,
their own swear words, and,
yeah.
and so it's like it's just. I mean, it's just it's a joy. It's absolute hilarious film. Great music, great soundtrack.
Punk rock,
Iggy
yeah.
Pop, yeah, Iggy Pop did the actual theme tune. Apparently, Iggy Pop at the time was absolutely boracic. He was completely skint. He was like basically bankrupt and was real, down on his luck completely. And then Alex Cox phoned him up and said, "I'll make the theme tune for this film," and it completely changed his. Well, I don't know, it changed his life around, but basically, he went from starvation to being able to eat. I don't know, roast pheasant or whatever it is that whatever it is rock stars eat for dinner, yeah, it completely changed his life. So so I think Iggy Pop's a big fan of the film. But yeah, you've got like Black Flag, Circle Jerks, what other bands? Quite a few sort of like the Plugs, lots of different sort of quite big American early 80s hardcore bands. Yeah, so if you like that, if you like punk music, then yeah,
Yeah.
it's worth watching just for the soundtrack, if nothing
Yeah.
else. And
It's an anti-capitalism movie. Anti, like, that's the thematic, right? Like, F you to money. It's like
yeah,
your possessions,
it's
yeah. And using
yeah,
aliens and kind of like
yeah,
as a backdrop, I guess.
yeah. There's there definitely is it's a film of its time. It's definitely like that because we're 84, so that was Reagan's second election, or his re-election, and
And Margaret Thatcher, right? So like
yeah, and
very,
so
very conservative time.
yeah, and there's definitely I mean it's it's like yeah, very much of its time, sort of that early 80s, yeah, the Reaganomics kind of thing. Because you've got like, for example, all the branding in everything, in it, when they buy like drinks in a shop, it's
Yeah.
just yeah, it's just this bland sort of utilitarian. It just says drink. It's like very as opposed to all the all the
Product
consumer
placement.
branding of that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's an ironic sort of thing, and things are just food or
Yeah.
a drink,
Yeah.
beer, and yeah, it's a great film, absolutely brilliant. And if any,
I always wondered about movies like this that obviously they caught a generation, they caught a certain culture in the moment. It's got a cult following for sure. People have it on DVD, but the streaming services haven't grabbed it, right? Like you always wonder like
yeah.
where is this film? Like who owns it and like why aren't they showing it somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's well, that's
Like
good.
they show Back to the Future, right? Like they like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
always
yeah.
funny.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it was. I guess it was never. Well, it's a cult. Definitely, it's probably
No, it's
definitely
a
a cult film.
phenomenal film. Like meaning that like it
Yeah.
had a phenomenon. It had a people remember it from our generation, right? So
Oh, yeah. I mean, but again, whether streaming services would want to pick up, I don't know because I don't really know whether that's kind of yeah. I mean, I don't really watch any streaming services, so I don't really know quite what they're doing, but I guess it's probably not what they'd be
yeah,
interested in promoting, which is a shame because yeah, I mean it's an absolute it's a
yeah,
classic film, and if people haven't seen it, you got to get on it. The dialogue is just fantastic.
yeah,
We all know strange creatures are on the increase, but under no circumstances allow strange creatures into your home.
yeah,
So loads of these sort of mad little things. There's like there's constantly like radio shows play, like this sort of talk radio kind of thing in the background,
yeah.
and yeah, and also I don't know I don't know whether this is still something that goes on. But it was never something that happens in Britain. But I know you had like certainly in America there was lots of like TV evangelists sort of thing, and so one of
Sure.
the one of the sort of like key kind of like characters that drives he's not like a main character, but like a person that's like kind of a plot bringing plot developments on is a TV evangelist, and so you see him now and then, and usually in quite a good sort of quite some good lines. There's one bit where this guy, they're all trying to find this one bloke who's been in a hospital bed, and he's suddenly disappeared. And as you walk in, and the consternation of the people going like, where has he gone? He's suddenly cut. You've got the TV evangelist in the background.
Yeah.
He has risen, and then it's like, so those sort of like little things. So yeah, that's lots and lots of details. It's one. I mean, it's probably true of lots of films, but it's a film that you can just keep watching and watching, and just each time you see something, another little sort of tiny.
Yeah. I could say the same thing about your film, man. I've seen it like a few times, and it's fantastic. And I want to see what you do. I want to see like your next. I don't know if like you're doing. I know you do things for hire, but this is kind of seemed like a pretty ambitious project and creative project in your part. So I'd love to see what you do next, and maybe we can showcase more of your work at a festival, and watch this film.
Yeah. Oh well, I'll definitely be submitting more. I think what you do with the festival is fantastic, by the way.
Oh,
and
thank you.
I want to give you some respect, because I really wish more festivals were as good as what you do. Yeah, the idea of having feedback videos, having like these podcasts, actually be, interviews. It's like, because you submit something, and even if you get like a good result, you have no idea, did it actually, I mean, was it actually a good film, or was it there was just nothing in the way of competition, if you know what I mean? And so what you do, I think, is absolutely fantastic. So massive respects and thanks, huge salutes, respect to you. Thank you
so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're just grinding away. So I appreciate those kind words, and you just made my day there. So it makes me.
You did a really good job. Yeah.
All right, let's talk again when you make your next film.
Yeah. I will be submitting as soon as possible. All the best. Good luck with everything. Thank you very much indeed. I